Hello, this is Nanoburger here, and today we are going to talk about this camera that I have in front of me. It's called the Samurai Z2, made by Yashica. If you're rummaging through your closet and found one of these, or perhaps picked one up at the thrift shop, the purpose of this video is to go over the features and kind of introduce the camera. I intend to do another video which will in fact go through the procedure for adding some new capabilities onto this camera. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm all about having a lot of photographic capabilities in a camera. Of course, when you look at this right here, you'll see that it doesn't really look like a camera, although it does look like a video camera. It was made in 1990, so these cameras have kind of the form function of a typical 1990s video cam. Be able to hold in one hand and take video, but this is not a video camera. It is a still picture camera, and it takes 35mm film. Let's see. The first thing that we'll go through here is look at the front. The front here, you can see I have got the lens cap on. Let me take that off. And one of the fun features here, because you're always losing your lens cap, they have this small piece of plastic on the strap, and your lens cap just snaps right on there, so you never lose your lens cap. Even has a little hole in it there, so you can put a string on there. And this little plastic thingy also doubles as a small piece of plastic which can interface with some of the buttons on the back of the camera, so you don't have to find a toothpick or something to actually press the buttons. Okay, so let's look at the front here. The front of the camera. This is the main taking lens here. It is a zoom lens, which has a pretty good zoom to it. And inside here we have threads for a standard filter if you want to put one on. And up top here you have the flash. And you might want to know why the flash is so small here. What you have to do to turn the whole thing on is to slide the button up on the side here, and it instantly pops up the flash. So every time you want to take a photo, you have the option of using the flash or not. Okay, let's go on the left-hand side of the camera. As you can see, it has a chunk out of here. That is again to get the form factor of handling it like a small video camera, which were so popular in the 1990s. Here is the turn on feature. To turn the camera off, you simply press the flash down, turn it on, slide the switch forward, and you instantly get the flash. Not much else here except the lug that holds the neck strap, and of course the most of the information is printed on here, silkscreened. One of the things that you might encounter is that your camera, being made in 1990, is now going on a quarter of a century old. There is a small battery inside here which holds some information in the memory. It's kind of like a computer motherboard, if you're familiar with those sort of things. On this camera, the battery is right about here on the inside, and what you have to do is to take off the screws around here, take off this panel, and you'll find the battery. It's one of those small button batteries, and you can replace it if you want. Right here, this one is about 25 years old now, and the battery in here is still going strong. It's a lithium battery, so yours may or may not need to be changed. Let's move to the other side. The other side of the camera here, again, we've got the kind of form-fitting things to hold it as a video camera. We have this right here, which is just a small screw. You can unscrew this with a coin or something, or in fact the plastic thing on the strap. And it has a battery, and it takes a standard CR2 battery, two big cells put in there, 6 volts. Pretty standard, pretty standard for a lot of cameras. And here we have kind of where the magic happens. We've got the shutter release button. This button is kind of like most modern cameras. You do it halfway, it focuses, and then you press it all the way and it takes the exposure. And here with the W on top and the T on the bottom is the zoom, wide and telephoto. If you actuate these, you'll see that the camera responds. As you can see, we're actually here. It's pretty noisy. If you do this in a very quiet area, people are going to be noticing you. You know, this was 1990. You know, zoom technology wasn't all that great back then, so you have to put up with some of the noise. So let's look on the bottom. Bottom is pretty sparse. You got the rest of the battery compartment here. Here we have the tripod lug, or bushing as it's properly called, and this kind of a plasticky, grippy sort of thing to interface with the tripod. On the bottom here you have a small switch here. This switch is something you push down and it will pop up and open the back to load your film or to unload it. Moving to the top here, again we have the flash. To turn off the camera, you just press that down, turn it on, pops back up. Not much else here. Here we have this threaded hole. This was for an accessory where you can actually put on a hot shoe, which would take over from this flash in case you need more range or you like your particular hot shoe. And if you look underneath here, there are a couple of contacts that is for the hot shoe. I've also seen kind of a diffuser type array on here, but they seem to be pretty rare. I don't have one myself. Okay, well, let's look at the back. And this is, again, where the magic happens. As you can see up here, this is the viewfinder. This is a single lens reflex camera, which means when you look through here, you're actually looking through the taking lens. Very nice for very accurate framing of your photos. Here we have an LED display, and this display displays information about the camera, and it's one of your main interfaces for your camera. And on the bottom here, there's some things you can change. The first one is the date. You can print the date on every frame if you so desire. I find that kind of annoying, so I normally set it to not printing the date, which is what these little dots on the bottom mean. If you like dates on your photographs, you can select it in a variety of formats: day, month, year, year, month, date, whatever you want. The second row here, the first one is the mode. This one, if you pay attention to up in the corner here, it starts out as the flash is in automatic mode, but if you press it once, you'll get the night mode. That basically turns the camera flash off. That way you can take long exposures and get nice photographs at night. If you do it again, you'll see that these two things come on, the automatic flash and the night mode. This is kind of a fun thing to do. It will expose stuff in the foreground with the flash while keeping the shutter open to expose the background, so you have a more natural photograph. Press it again, you'll see it's an icon which indicates that the flash will be used in a fill flash type mode. That's in the summertime if you're shooting somebody who's in shadow and bright background, you want to lighten up somebody's face, let's say. You'll use that mode. And you press it again and it goes back to auto. This next button here is the film rewind. And if you hit that, it rewinds your film in the middle of a roll, at the end of the roll, whatever. If we can hit it right now, and it's trying to rewind the film. Makes a lot of noise, but since I don't have any film in there, it doesn't go very long. And finally, on this side, it has drive. Right now, you're taking one photograph per actuation of the shutter release, but you can hit it again, and it'll have these multiple rectangles here, which is kind of the speed mode. And you can take, I think the rate is about 4 frames per second. That's on a good day, though. If you're using this, you're basically wasting a lot of film. If you hit it again, the next mode is the time mode. It has the kind of the universal timer signal. It'll give you the normal 10 seconds or so. And next one is the timer and the fast mode here, in case you have it on a tripod or something and you want to take your golf swing sort of type photos. And you do it again and it goes back to normal. Now the Z2 here is actually the older model. The first model was the Z, and the Z had some extra features on it. There were 2 buttons, one here and one here, which controlled on this side the exposure compensation, and on the other side has a fairly complex intervalometer, which is a fun thing to play with. But this is the Z2 model, and they've omitted both of those features. My next video, I'm going to try to get those features back on there. Here we have the window. This is kind of something where you can see the can of film underneath, in case you've forgotten what sort of film you have in there. You can see it through the window there. As you remember, you can use the switch in the back, and it will open up the interior chamber here. And as you can see, it seems like a regular camera. However, you'll notice again, this is a half frame camera, so this is the actual size of the negative. It's about 1/2 of a normal 35mm frame. And this particular frame is kind of portrait. If you're holding the camera normally, it would be just like a 35mm exposure, except half the size. Some half-frame cameras have it portrait, where you do the film goes through the camera the opposite direction instead of up and down like we have here. Of course, up here, this is the take-up reel. When you load your film, you put the tab right in line with this orange line here, and it sucks it up automatically. In the chamber here, we've got kind of tensioning spring, but also we have the DX coded electrodes here. This reads the DX code on the can of film and sets the ISO of the camera accordingly. And as you can see right here, this is the power winder. It advances the film one way and then rewinds the film, no problem. Okay, so when you close this, the camera thinks that you've just put a fresh roll of film in here, so you'll hear a noise of it taking up the slack in the film. Okay, we don't have any film in there, so it didn't do a whole lot. Okay, what are the benefits of this camera? Obviously, a half-frame camera takes twice as many photographs on a roll of film. Let's say you have a 24 exposure roll of film, it'll take 48 exposures. If you have 36, it'll take 72 exposures, which a lot of times ends up being a time machine, because going through 72 exposures takes a long time. And when you finally get your film developed, it'll be from a long time ago. Know this from experience. Some tips on getting your film developed. First of all, if you just give the roll of film to the photo processor, it will most likely come back with 2 frames on one picture. So you'll have a diptych, as they call it, two pictures, one on top of each other. If you just have them develop it, you can, or if you're developing it yourself, you can develop it and scan it any way you want. You can have 2, 3, or 4 frames, or you can just have 1 frame, just like normal cameras. Most scanners don't have holders that are designed for half frames, but with a little ingenuity, you can make it yourself. So the camera here is cost about $300 or so in 1990 when it first came in. You'll probably find these for, I don't know, maybe $5 or $10 at your local thrift store, or maybe $15 on eBay. But it is a fun camera, especially if you go into some place where you need to take a lot of photos. You can take a lot of photos and not change film as often. You're taking half-frame photos, so the quality of the photos will be a little bit grainier, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It will end a certain atmosphere to your photographs. Again, what we want to do in the next video is to take this camera and add some functionality to it. So thank you for watching, and if you have a Samurai Z2 camera, enjoy.